Imagine a young girl, only 17, standing on a battlefield, her heart racing as the fate of a nation rests upon her shoulders. What could compel such youth to take up arms? In the heart of France, a secret waits to be unveiled, one that would change the course of history forever. Born in 1412 in Domremy, France, Joan was a simple peasant girl. The village echoed with the sounds of nature around her, yet her heart yearned for something greater. Little did anyone know, her childhood dreams of valor would soon collide with the harsh reality of war. As whispers of conflict filled the air, Joan began to hear voices. They spoke of divine missions, urging her to rise and lead the French army against the occupying English forces. The weight of this calling bore down on her, igniting a fire in her soul. With unwavering resolve, she sought an audience with Charles VII, the French Dauphin. Dressed in humble peasant garb, her conviction resonated in the grand halls, astonishing the courtiers who doubted her visions. A spark ignited in the room, shifting the course of their fate. The journey to Reims began. Clad in armor, Joan rode alongside soldiers, a beacon of hope amidst despair. The clash of swords rang in her ears, and the weight of her destiny pressed heavily on her heart. Her presence inspired courage in a weary army. The siege of Orléans became a turning point. With Joan at the forefront, the French forces surged against their enemies. Her battle cries echoed through the streets, rallying troops and igniting a renewed spirit. Victory felt within reach, yet uncertainty loomed. As the siege lifted, the city of Orléans erupted in jubilation. Joyous shouts filled the air, and Joan's name became synonymous with hope. Yet, the cost of war became apparent, as the price of freedom weighed heavily on the hearts of those who fought. But the tides of war shifted quickly. Joan faced betrayal from those she fought for. Her visions guided her, yet the complexities of human nature revealed themselves, darkening the path she once boldly walked. What awaited her would test her resolve like never before. Captured by the Burgundians, Joan was imprisoned, her dreams seemingly shattered. The clinking of chains echoed in her ears as she faced a trial that would determine her fate. Yet, even in the darkest moments, her spirit remained unbroken, a flicker of defiance burning bright. During her trial, she stood resolute against accusations of witchcraft and heresy. The tension was palpable as the court listened, enraptured by her answers. Each word was a testament to her unwavering faith, echoing with the reverberations of her divine mission. Despite her defense, the verdict was sealed. Joan was condemned to die. The sound of her heart beating echoed in her chest, but she remained steadfast. Even in chains, she inspired many, transforming her martyrdom into a symbol of rebellion and hope. On May 30th, 1431, Joan was led to her execution. The flames roared and the crowd gathered, a mix of followers and detractors. But even in her final moments, she declared her faith, her voice ringing clear above the chaos. Her spirit would not be extinguished. Her execution sparked outrage among her supporters. They mourned their fallen warrior, igniting a fire within them to continue her fight. Joan of Arc became a martyr, her legacy woven into the fabric of French identity, a tale of bravery transcending time. Years passed, and her name echoed through history. Joan was exonerated, and her story became a symbol of courage and faith. The very girl who once stood alone now inspired countless generations, forever changing the narrative of her nation. Joan of Arc remains a reminder of the extraordinary impact one individual can have. From peasant to queen in the hearts of a nation, her journey teaches us that courage knows no age. Join us in exploring more stories of remarkable figures who changed our world. After her remarkable rise, Joan faced skepticism. Many questioned a peasant girl's ability to lead armies and inspire men. Yet her unwavering faith and confidence in her divine mission shone bright. Casting aside doubt, it was this conviction that began to rally France around her cause. As she prepared to lead the French forces, whispers of doubt filled the air. Noblemen, wary of a girl in armor, questioned her legitimacy. In a world dominated by men, Joan's presence was a spark igniting both criticism and fervent support among her peers. By May of 1429, Joan's presence turned the tide at Orleans. The once beleaguered city found hope as she led siege operations, her battle cries echoing through the weary streets. Within days, the French forces reclaimed their stronghold, a turning point in the war. The victory at Orleans was not merely military, it was a psychological triumph. Joan became a symbol of hope, her image spreading like wildfire across the land. Her legend grew, igniting the spirits of a nation long beleaguered by despair. Her next mission was to escort Charles VII to his coronation in Reims. The journey was fraught with danger, yet Joan displayed remarkable bravery. Each step reverberated with purpose as she led her king through enemy territories, embodying the spirit of France. As they entered Reims, the atmosphere was electric. Joan's heart raced as she watched Charles take his place on the throne, crowned amidst cheers. This moment was the culmination of her efforts, a symbol of her unwavering devotion to her country. However, with triumph came peril. Joan's rise stirred jealousy among the court. Her influence posed a threat to powerful nobles who conspired to undermine her. Unbeknownst to her, shadows of betrayal loomed larger each day, threatening her very mission. The year turned 1430, and tensions mounted as Joan led French troops into battle once more. Each clash was intense, but the stakes had never been higher. It was during one fateful engagement that she found herself captured by the Burgundians, altering her fate forever. Imprisoned in a grim fortress, Joan faced harsh interrogations. Her captors sought to break her spirit, questioning her visions and divine claims. Yet, the fire within her remained unextinguished, illuminating her resolve even in the darkest times. Despite the grim circumstances, Joan's steadfastness inspired those around her. Fellow prisoners spoke of her courage, and whispers of her story began to spread. Even in chains, she became a symbol of hope, stirring the hearts of those who heard her tale. In the spring of 1431, Joan was subjected to a trial that shocked the world. Accused of heresy and witchcraft, her bravery was put to the test. Spectators filled the chamber, hungry for scandal, yet Joan stood firm, her spirit unyielding. Throughout the trial, Joan's faith remained her greatest weapon. She spoke passionately of her visions, declaring they were divinely inspired. Her words captivated some, yet many remained skeptical, unwilling to accept the truth she offered. As the days passed, the verdict loomed closer. Joan faced her accusers with an unwavering courage that belied her years. Each day in court solidified her legacy, even as her life hung in the balance, illuminating the power of belief and conviction. On May 30th, 1431, the world witnessed a heart-wrenching moment. Joan was burned at the stake, her spirit soaring even in the face of death. Her last words echoed with defiance, a testament to her unyielding spirit and unwavering faith. Despite her tragic end, Joan's legacy only grew. Her story inspired countless movements, becoming a beacon of hope for the oppressed. Centuries later, she would be called a martyr, a symbol of courage against tyranny. In 1920, Joan was canonized, her sainthood a recognition of her extraordinary influence. The trials she endured transformed her into a figure of faith and resilience, captivating the hearts of millions across generations. Joan's life remains a poignant reminder of the power of conviction. She defied societal norms, leading armies and challenging authority, forever altering the landscape of history. Her story speaks to the timeless struggle for justice and equality. As the world reflects on her story, Joan's impact continues to resonate. She remains an enduring symbol against oppression, inspiring new generations to rise in the face of adversity. Her courage ignites a fire within those who dare to dream. Joan's legacy also extends into literature and art, captivating the imaginations of artists, writers, and filmmakers. Her life story has inspired countless works, each interpretation adding depth to her already rich narrative. Today, her name is etched into history, a testament to the indomitable spirit of youth. Joan of Arc stands not merely as a historical figure, but as an enduring symbol of bravery. She teaches us that one voice can spark monumental change. Yet, as we explore her remarkable journey, unanswered questions linger in the air. What truly fueled her convictions? How did she manage to inspire such loyalty and bravery amidst chaos? These mysteries continue to invite exploration and discourse. Through the lens of history, Joan of Arc's journey illuminates the struggle for identity and purpose. Her story challenges us to reflect on our convictions and the courage it takes to stand for what we believe in, regardless of our age or station. As we uncover more layers of her life, we realize Joan's journey was not solely about battles, but about transcending boundaries. Her spirit invites us to explore the depths of our own potential, urging us to question the status quo. Joan of Arc serves as a stirring reminder that history is shaped by those who dare to challenge it. Her life encourages us to embrace our unique narratives, igniting the flame of resistance against injustice and oppression. In every corner of the globe, her legacy lives on. Statues, paintings, and stories continue to inspire those who seek to make a difference. In a world filled with uncertainty, Joan reminds us that one individual can spark a revolution. Joan of Arc's story remains a call to action for the brave at heart. Her life teaches us that courage is not merely the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in its presence. The fire in her spirit continues to shine brightly, illuminating paths for generations to come. Joan of Arc's impact on history serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of human spirit. Her legacy invites us to reflect on our own journeys and the changes we can spur in our world. Join us as we continue to explore remarkable figures who dared to challenge the expected. As Joan continued to rally the troops, her unwavering faith and fervor sparked hope among the soldiers. They rallied around her, believing in her visions and the divine mandate she claimed to serve. The battlefield became a sacred ground, where courage and belief intermingled. The pivotal moment arrived at the Siege of Orleans, where Joan's leadership was put to the ultimate test. As the siege raged on, her presence inspired a fierce determination within the besieged city. Victory felt within reach, yet the tension hung heavy in the air. Joan soon led a daring night raid against the English. Catching them off guard, her strategic brilliance shone through as she directed the attack with the confidence of seasoned generals. The cries of victory echoed through the night, igniting a flame of resistance. With the siege lifted, a new chapter unfolded. Joan's fame grew rapidly, her image becoming a symbol of hope and resilience for the French. She was seen not merely as a warrior, but as a divine messenger chosen to lead her people to freedom. In recognition of her valor, Joan accompanied Charles VII to Reims, where he was crowned king. The ceremony was filled with solemnity and excitement. Joan stood by his side, a beacon of faith, her heart swelling with pride as the crown symbolized a new era. However, the tides of fortune began to turn. Political rivalries and shifting allegiances fragmented the unity Joan had fought so hard to create. The English, emboldened by renewed strength, prepared to reclaim what they had lost, plotting their next move. Despite the growing challenges, Joan remained steadfast in her mission. She urged the French troops to remain resolute, but whispers of doubt began to creep in. The once victorious spirit slowly waned as uncertainty settled over the land. In the summer of 1430, Joan embarked on a mission to liberate Compiègne. The stakes were high. She faced a formidable enemy, and the burden of expectation weighed heavily on her shoulders. Yet her heart remained fueled by an unwavering belief. The liberation attempt faltered unexpectedly. Joan found herself surrounded and trapped in the city. The realization hit like a thunderclap. She had been captured by the Burgundians, allies of the English. The tides had truly turned. Imprisoned and facing interrogation, Joan's resolve was tested like never before. The trials were grueling, attempting to break her spirit. Yet, she stood firm, her faith a shield against the psychological warfare waged against her. Joan's captors made every effort to undermine her credibility, branding her a heretic. Yet she spoke with clarity, recounting her visions and the divine purpose she believed she served. Each word resonated with conviction, illuminating her truth. Despite her unyielding spirit, the trial culminated in a verdict of guilt. The once celebrated heroine was sentenced to death. As the flames of the pyre flickered in the distance, the weight of a nation's hope rested on her shoulders. On May 30th, 1431, Joan faced her fate with astonishing courage. The flames danced around her, yet her gaze remained unwavering, her spirit unbroken. In her heart, she held on to the belief that she would lead France to salvation, even in death. News of her execution rippled through France like a storm, igniting a fierce resurgence of resistance. Joan became a martyr, her sacrifice inspiring a new wave of fervor among the French. The seeds of her legacy began to take root. In the years that followed, Joan's memory transformed into a symbol of national pride. Her story inspired poets, artists, and dreamers. They began to weave tales that celebrated her unwavering spirit and the formidable force she represented. By the late 1800s, the movement to recognize Joan's legacy gained momentum. Her name echoed in the halls of power, and she was canonized as a saint. The world began to pay homage to her courage, resilience, and her role as a pivotal figure in history. Today, Joan of Arc stands not just as a historical figure, but as an enduring symbol of hope and empowerment. Her life continues to inspire movements for justice and equality. The echoes of her courage are felt by those who dare to challenge the status quo. As we reflect on Joan's journey, we are reminded that the strength of one individual can indeed change the course of history. Her story transcends time, urging us to embrace our own convictions and fight for our beliefs. Joan of Arc's legacy is a testament to the extraordinary power of belief and resilience. As we honor her life, let us find inspiration in her journey, reminding ourselves that we too can make a difference in our world. Join us again as we continue to explore the lives that have shaped our history. As Joan faced the relentless tides of war, her spirit remained unbroken. With each battle fought, her reputation grew, igniting hope within the hearts of a beleaguered nation. Yet the darker forces of politics and betrayal loomed, threatening to extinguish her flame. It was the loyalty of her soldiers that solidified her status as a symbol of resistance. The siege of Orléans became a pivotal moment in Joan's journey. As she rallied her troops, her presence transformed despair into resolve. The city's walls echoed with the cries of victory when the English forces retreated, marking a turning point in the war. Joan stood on the battlements, the wind catching her standard, a vision of hope. With the victory at Orléans, the path to Reims lay open. Joan's mission was clear: to see Charles crowned as king. The journey was filled with uncertainty, yet her unwavering conviction inspired those around her. Villages welcomed her as the Maid of Heaven, and whispers of her divine guidance spread like wildfire. The coronation of Charles VII was a moment that transcended the physical realm. Joan stood by his side, a symbol of divine providence. As the crown was placed upon his head, the air was thick with the weight of history. It was not just a victory for France, but a revolution of faith, uniting a nation under one banner. Yet the tides of fortune are ever fickle. In the ensuing battles, Joan faced the brutal realities of war. At Compiègne, her bravery would lead her into a trap. Surrounded by enemy forces, she fought valiantly, but the weight of betrayal would soon lead to her capture. Her heart, once buoyed by faith, now faced an uncertain fate. Imprisoned, Joan endured a harrowing trial. Accusations of heresy echoed through the dimly lit chambers. In a world where women were often silenced, her voice rang clear, defiant against oppression. Despite the despair surrounding her, she maintained her innocence, her faith unwavering, a beacon of hope amidst the shadows. The moment arrived as flames flickered menacingly, casting an eerie glow on her face. Joan, resolute, refused to recant her beliefs, proclaiming her faith until the very end. The crowd, a mixture of sorrow and judgment, witnessed the transformation of a young girl into a martyr. Her sacrifice would inspire generations. Following her tragic death, Joan's story did not end in the flames. She became a symbol of courage and conviction, embodying the struggle against tyranny. Her legacy began to resonate far beyond the borders of France, inspiring movements for justice and empowerment. Joan transcended her time, becoming a saint in the hearts of many. Centuries later, the impact of Joan's life is palpable. From the battlefields to the halls of power, her name is invoked in the fight for justice. Activists and leaders alike have drawn strength from her resilience, declaring their fights for freedom in her honor. She remains a figure of unwavering strength in the face of adversity. As we reflect upon her journey, we see a spirit that continues to fuel movements across the globe. Joan of Arc serves as a timeless reminder that even the most unlikely individuals can spark monumental change. Her life urges us to harness our courage, to stand for what we believe, and to strive for a better future. Joan of Arc's legacy goes beyond her time. It reverberates through history. To honor her is to recognize the power of conviction and the impact of one voice raised against the tide. As we part, may we carry her spirit within us, reminding ourselves that each of us possesses the potential to change the course of history.